So I'm Danny Seigle, Director of Operations at FindTheBest. We're an online comparison engine that helps 20 million consumers a month think like experts on any given purchase topic. We give them all the data, user reviews, and the tools to rank, sort, and filter so they can become knowledgeable about a certain decision they're going to make and be confident with what they finally do. So we do everything from smartphones to car insurance to enterprise software. We're very broad. A couple months ago, we were sued by a patent troll because of a process they call multilateral decision making, which has pretty much been done since the dawn of time. They describe a process whereby you survey people to get their preferences and you give them recommendations, which is a lot of what we do, except we do it with just one match. The patent describes 2 matches. They really just sued us to extort us. They're using the legal system's cost of defense to basically get money out of us, despite us not infringing and the patent being rather weak. So we thought it was going to be really easy to resolve because it was very clear we do not infringe to any layman. When we called up the plaintiff, it became very clear that that didn't matter. They knew it was going to be costly to defend the case, so they wanted us to settle even knowing that we did not infringe. So that changed things a lot. So now we're actually going through a court process, the litigation process, on both the patent infringement case and then through a series of unfair and abusive practices that the plaintiff has used, such as criminal threats, extortion, and racketeering. We have filed a RICO case against them, which was used for the mafia originally, but the way they operate is very much mafia-esque, a series of shell companies with no good faith business. Yeah, so the key aspects of how the patent troll suit really affected us is from an operational standpoint. Way too much of my time, our CEO's time, our engineers' time is going towards producing documents and doing research in the suit instead of building the products and the services that we want to deliver to customers that are ultimately going to change the world. We don't want to be involved in this. We tried to get out of it. We were left with no choice but to pursue litigation. But that's not our core business. We want to produce products and services. Yes, there's a big legal cost. We've $180,000 already as well, but that doesn't compare to the time and effort that are operating to go through the process. That's the opportunity cost. Can't even measure it. I believe that on the patent infringement case, we have a very, very strong case in 2 regards. First, we don't infringe. It's very clear to any layman that we don't do what this patent describes. And second, it's a very, very weak patent and should most likely be invalid. And I think we make a very strong case for the patent being ruled as invalid. Our RICO case, I believe, is very justified. RICO has a very high bar in terms of what you have to prove, but I think we have what it takes to do that. It's going to be an uphill battle, but we're ready to fight to do what is right. And I think that's the difference, is what we're willing to do, A, what's right, and B, we have the resources to do it. It is not cheap and it is not an easy thing to do. So that's what makes us really interesting, is most companies get sued by patent trolls will not talk about it for a variety of reasons. One, being sued, it makes you feel bad. It's like you did something wrong even if you didn't, so you naturally don't want to talk about it. B, a lot of these patent trolls require to settle that you sign an NDA, so you're actually not allowed to talk about it after you settle. We decided to go against all that and make it public because this is something that needs to be brought to society's attention. And we have, luckily, the resources to be able to do that since our CEO is personally financing it, which makes us a great case study for people to learn about how this works, how unfair it is, how abusive it is, actually just how much like the mafia these people really operate in our experience with the threats we've had. And so we hope we help spur people to come out of the woodwork and talk about it. Interesting enough, since we were so vocal, our plaintiff actually filed a gag order against us. So filed a motion, a protective order it's called, that would basically silence us. We're hopeful that the judge will not approve it, and we think it just goes to prove just how drastic methods they're willing to use to try to silence people, because they know what they're doing is wrong. They're just doing it to make money, and I think that they're ultimately, they know they're doing things that are not ethical, and they don't want people to know about it, because these are people that could live in your community, that go to your go to school with your kids and things like that. So they don't want to be known. So when you do anything you do to bring the sunlight on them, they shy away. There are a lot of bills that are coming up hopefully soon in Congress up for a vote. The Good Latte bill is a really good one. I like that one. But I think it has to be everything from demand letter reform to actually, you get these letters and it's Stalinistic. It says, you did something wrong, pay us. It doesn't describe exactly what you did wrong in layman's terms. So very similar to what the FTC has done with consumer lending provisions. They could do stuff like that with demand letter reform. They also need to do things about tracking all this. So you don't even know how many demand letters are being sent out, because anyone can send a demand letter and say you infringe on this patent. They might not even own the patent. There's no way to know. That USPTO doesn't do a great job of tracking who's really owning a patent at a given point in time. It's difficult to really understand the ownership, because one company might own it, but then they license out the right for them to monetize it. So it's a series of shell companies that are tough to untangle. So the real party and interest would make a big difference. You could actually know who is accusing you of this, who has the economic interest in this outcome, and things to make the discovery process much more fair in terms of costs. The patent troll has no cost in the discovery process because they don't operate, whereas the company being sued has a lot of time and effort in the discovery process. So anything to quicken and reduce the costs in discovery would be very beneficial as well.